and it is now recording. So this is how we'll format. We've just launched. We just launched a blank spreadsheet from Excel. In one column I'll put name, and the other column I'll put email. Because for this particular spreadsheet, for this program, I don't need anything more than the name and the email. I really don't need anything more than the email. But there's a number of ways to get out of your contacts. So I'm going to go this with a little more depth and show you the way you export. So watch this. I'm going to go right to my own Gmail account. We're in Video Zing. So I'm going to go to Gmail. So here it is. And it logs me in automatically on this computer. And I'm going to go over to my Gmail and go to my contacts. So now I want to do where I can do an export. So I go under more and I click export. So now I want to do all contacts. Now, everybody sees that I've got 9,000. I've been doing this for a while. I saved these things from back in when smartphones were really still pretty dumb. But they did let you move your stuff from one computer or one phone to another, to the computer, back to another phone. But I've got 9,498 contacts. I'm going to put these. I don't think it really matters which one of these. We'll go to the Google CSV format. We're going to export this. So what this is doing for me in the background is now saying, hey, we're exporting all of this information into a 3.2 megabyte CSV file. And here it is. Now you can see the problem that this one has gotten is it doesn't have my columns separated. So there we go. So what do we want to do? Let's do an export. And this time we'll do it as a V format and see if we can get that exported correctly with oh, we didn't want that either, I guarantee that. So last try is to export with the CSV for Outlook. And what I'm trying to get here is something that's formatted. Now that's formatted correctly, and the reason I like it is because it's got a column over here for my email addresses, right? So here they all are. So effectively now, remember what I showed you guys, I had a column for name, and there it is, it's got first name, and I think some of these have got last name. So I'll go ahead and leave both of those in there. I'm going to take out the middle. I'm going to delete essentially every other column. Does that all make sense? Is everybody seeing me? I'm going to switch back to the Video Zing training webinar. There it is. Alright, so we're going to go over here. I've got these columns now set up. And I'm going to delete every column except for last name. I'll take care of the middle. I don't really care about that. And every one of these other columns, it's going to make it hard to import these because the Video Zing program will not understand some of these columns. But as far as what I'm concerned with, there we go. I've got the name, the email, the name, the email, and a last name that might come up in my sheet as question mark, but that's alright. And then I'm going to continue on here, get all of these columns. And you see sometimes I'm taking notes in some of the other columns. And I'm just going to delete every one of these. So all I've done is hold down the Shift key. Let me go back and show you what I did. I'm just rotating. So I selected the column I wanted to start with here. I've got the Shift key down. I scroll over here. I hit Shift, and then I click here. It's going to select everything in between. I'm going to right mouse click and select Delete. So now everything's gone. So now I've got a brand new, fresh, clean. This is that same spreadsheet I downloaded, but I've cleaned it up. So now I'm going to go File. Now before I do that, actually something we've got to do now, we've got to make sure that these people all have email addresses. You can see there's gaps here where they don't have email addresses. So a lot of times there's last names here that don't even make sense. So we might decide to delete those. But I can't go ahead and import a name without an email address attached to it. So what you do is you sort the column right here. You sort the column, keeping my other connection going here. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Give me 1 second. I'm going to sort the column. by the column that I want data to be eliminated from. So if I sort by this column, I go sort filter, and I'm going to go A to Z. And what I notice there is that email address will also get sorted with that. So I'm going to move that column to the side. So I'm doing a Control X and a Control V. Alright, and it's out of that column now. So it'll get sorted away and put away somewhere else, but that's why I can move it back when I get back inside of this. But anyway, so I click the whole column now. So I'm going to sort by that column. I'm going to go A to Z and say expand selection. Now it's going to expand the selection to include these other columns. It's going to keep them in order, but it's going to sort them by this one. It'll keep this name when it says Adiana Webster. Here we go. I'm going to click there and go expand, and it'll keep her name next to that column. So I click OK, and now you see here where I've got some stuff that's bogus. I'm going to take these out. Those aren't email addresses. A lot of these aren't email addresses also. Well, they are actually. And now I go back here to my, there it is. I did a control arrow down, control arrow up. I put this column right up above here. I'm going to put name and last name. Alright, so we're going to do our first shot at trying to import all of this. And so you can see here, now it's sorted out, so it showed me that effectively now, because we got them sorted by email address, if they don't have an email, they get sorted A to Z through email address. If they don't have an email address, they get stuck at the end as not having an email address. So there's that column I had right there. I did a control shift arrow to the right and it selected those two. And I don't want to go all that way because that takes too long. So here we go. Paste those back inside of here. So now we'll go back down to the bottom of this. Okay, so I've got only about half of these emails, of these contacts have email addresses. So I'm going to do control shift down and just select all of these now, clearing all cells. So now I'm going to hit this and hit delete. So now all of these cells are cleared. But here's all these email addresses I have. So now we've got about 4,592 email addresses because one column's this, and we've actually got a couple here. I'll clean those up by clicking these, holding down Shift key, right mouse click, and delete those. And so here we go. So now I've got my new file, save as. We'll go ahead and browse, and let's take it out of downloads and put it in my OneDrive. Carter. Contacts for Carter email addresses. So there they are, and I want to keep it as a CSV. It's a comma delimited, comma separated values is what that, and it's delimited by commas. So save that. Alright, do you want to keep this format? Yes. Alright, so there it is. Now I've got a fresh spreadsheet with all the people that I want in this to be imported. So here we go. So now I'm going to close it. It's going to ask me one more time if I want to save it. I'll go ahead and click save. If you want to keep it, yes. Alright, close. We don't need this one anymore. This was one we were going to do demo. And so to do the same spreadsheet, to manually type these up to import, you would put Carter and then just put the email address. And you can copy and paste those from wherever you've got them. And Carter work. And we might use this one as a demo if the other one doesn't. And sometimes these spreadsheets you got to hammer out some details on them. But here's my. There you go. So we've got two in there, and let's go Steve Andrews S Andrews 123 at Gmail. So let's just put that in there. That's a bad email address, I would imagine, but it would import that also. But it's just got the name and the email. If I want their last name, I just insert a column and put last. All right, and this is Reth, and here I'd go over this one, move that to that column. All right, so we're going to save. Now we can do the same thing. Save as. Let's go Carter, demo, email, list to import. Alright. And now that was saved as a spreadsheet by default. I got to go back in there and go save as, browse, and here's where I go, CSV, and any one of these should work, but we'll go with the CSV MS-DOS. There we go. So now we've got two that we could import. One has 3 email addresses, the other has 4,000 something. So here's the tricky part, ladies and gentlemen. This is the cool part, and you're going, whoa, now I can send out a mass email. So let's close this sheet while it thinks it's not responding there. There it is, okay. So I go over here to my sheet, or to my video Zing. Okay, so let's add subscribers. You can see we've imported a bunch already. So let's do add import. I'm going to do, you can do an individual once, or you can upload a file. So let's choose the file. And we did a comma, right, was our separator. Choose file, and let's go back to OneDrive, Carter, there we go, Carter for content, there we go. Let's open that one and click continue. So you saw we had 4,000. Let's see what it says on this thing. It might give you an error. Merge match records. No. We're going to import both of these. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and let's do a merge matched, because I think I did this import once before. Keep the first row, yes. No, okay, first row is that name, last name, email. Okay, good. Continue. There we go. We're going to make this a new list. Contacts for card email addresses from Gmail, we'll call it. Let's call it just Gmail. Up here. Alright, so it's creating a new list. You can see I have an existing list with nobody in it. And we'll click continue. Alright. You must agree to these terms. These are all my own personal email addresses from friends, colleagues, whatever. Alright, waiting progress. And so what it's doing is it's pulling all the data from that list of 4,000 addresses. There it goes. Look at that. So it completed 100%. It pulled in 4,300. There were 230 I had in there twice, so I am left with 4,266. So let's close that, and let's go now view these subscribers. So look at that. Now we're rocking. That's pretty cool. Now some of those may be duplicates. We can see lists that we've created, and so here is this particular list, Gmail contacts for Carter email addresses. We can easily, somebody's beeping me here. It is not a text. It's for our, sometimes people send me messages while I'm doing the webinar because there's something they want me to make sure and cover. Alright, so there they are. Now we can go back up to, let's go back to our dashboard and actually design a piece. Now I've got a good looking piece. So far, does everybody understand what we're doing there? Does everybody understand what we're doing there? So here we are. I'm going to go back to the training webinar. Everybody with me? Did everyone see that? Now, the reason we record it is so that you guys can watch it again later. But now we'll switch back over. We've got our video Zing, and we want to go in here and create a marketing piece. Alright, we can schedule a blast. And let's go use a template. So this is where it gets exciting with our program, because there are 20, so there's 8 per page, and we've got 27 pages of templates. Now, I've actually already created one. So with that, I'm going to go over here and edit this one. And so here it is. It's not all the way complete, but what we've got is a couple, and it's easy now to this is like editing a WikiWizzy easy to edit page, and here is the content that we've got created. And you can see here's some filler they've put in. This is when they do the Latin stuff. So all we really need to do to yet finish this thing is to pull the data, pull the last bit of information we want, and put it inside of here and talk about the last little bit for this mailer. Now, I'm not going to send this one because it's not done yet, but we'll show you how it is. And you could even add, like we've got our stock image here for our helps if you spell Facebook right. There you go. So here are different Facebook related stock images. So I'm going to take this one here and just drag it wherever I can get it to go. Let's see where we get it to go. Drop here. Let's see what it does. There it is. So if I don't like that, I just click minus and it goes away. Try to get something over in this area, which we can add when we figure out this template a little better. Yeah, so you see here's an email I was about to blast out. So the message, effectively, we've got it set, right? And it keeps replacing things that I didn't want necessarily in there, so let's close it. Good enough. Alright, so let's save what we've got. We're going to save it as 1 to not replace the one I had. And we'll click close. Alright, so now we've got that much done. Continue. What are we going to put in here? Alright, mail merge, email addresses. We've got these all from a file we're going to continue. We're going to use. So the mail merge is going to include the email address, is what they're going to see. Alright. We're going to schedule to send this. Alright, here's where it's going to come from, and now we're going to click continue. Now here's the important part. So literally right here, we check that box for that Gmail contacts. Click continue. They learn to spell sometimes, right? So I'll just make this kind of a cute message that I would send as if they knew it was coming from me. There you go. Continue. And here we go. Title. This is the HTML version versus the text version. Click continue. Now the reason it's cutting me off here is because I'm trying to send 4,300 and we are cut off at 3,000 a month, which is still a great deal, especially included in your message. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all we really wanted to talk about within this, because We showed you how to edit a little bit out of a template. Not a whole lot there, but the most important thing that people have the trouble with is getting that Excel spreadsheet created, that CSV file that you download to import. And we showed that my memory failed me that it doesn't work with the Gmail account, doesn't work with the Apple version, but you use the Outlook version and it comes right into this. So what we've got to edit now to get this thing to be sent is the subscribers. So what I've got to do is go back into this list and remove 1,000 people, 1,343 people. So with that, I'll leave it here. I can go back up to subscribers and now start going edit, delete, pull people out. So let's do a bulk unsubscribe, I guess, and it would pull. You can unsubscribe by filter or on by list member or upload a file to do that. So that's all I wanted to cover with this. And the big component that most people have the issue with is getting those email addresses into the system, editing the template, walking through the steps to get the template that you've created sent, filling in the blanks, all very easy. It's that mass import that people have been asking me about. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video from recording, and we'll save that for some people to watch later.